Aloha, Anthony.
Aloha, my friend. You know, if I knew you were going to wear a Hawaiian shirt, I would have dressed down a little bit.
Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Anthony Melchiori, so great to see you on this Monday morning. I'm feeling like the Hawaiian spirits have entered me, and I'm just really excited to be able to wear this shirt, which I don't think I've worn in like 5 years.
You are in the Four Seasons Maui, I can tell.
I am. Let's take a look at where I'm not. I am not in a suite here at the Four Seasons Maui. Let's take a look at that. Absolutely beautiful room. Why? Because we are going to be featuring them today on the show with Mark Simon. But before we get into that, Anthony, this shirt I actually bought on my honeymoon in Hawaii in 2002. So I don't get to wear it too much because, you can't really go to the Stop and Shop here with the Hawaiian shirt without looking a little weird. But it's really nice to pull it out of the closet for a special.
That's what I love. I have I call a costume closet with everything that I've worn all over the country. And what I love about, I go to wherever, Texas, or I go to Cody, Wyoming, and I wear cowboy boots and I wear a cowboy hat, and I'm very comfortable, and everybody else wears them. Right. And I go to Hawaii and everybody's wearing that shirt, and I'm very comfortable. And then you look ridiculous if you go to the wrong state and wear the wrong clothes. I didn't realize there was a dress code to each state.
I didn't realize that either, but I will tell you, other than wearing the shirt in Hawaii, I also wear this shirt when I shop where? At Best Buy. Of course, BestBuy.com hospitality is your place to be if you're a hotelier looking for great IT technologies and patio furniture, room sanitizing solutions, all sorts of great stuff. They got that Geek Squad, over 4,000 members strong around the country. They're going to help you with all your technology. Check them out at bestbuy.com/hospitality. And speaking of fun things in Hawaii, what about you got your soap bathhouse over there?
I actually used it, so I don't have it.
I've been wanting to use it. Smells so good, but I've been waiting for this occasion. Plus, folks, if you buy this soap, we're not making any money on these ads. What we are doing is Kayla is giving a percentage of all of the sales to Anthony's Hospitality Strong initiative to help folks that have been displaced because of COVID relief. So be sure to check it out. How does the soap treat you, Anthony?
The soap was very good. It smells great. Who doesn't like pineapple soap?
Oh, you smell awfully clean from here. I do want to say that today is Martin Luther King Day, and I know that Martin Luther King Jr. has special influence and effect on your life, and I thought we could hear some great words from you about how you're feeling today.
Well, a couple things. One, Coretta Scott King, I told you, I met her. I was very fortunate to meet her at the Lucerne Hotel. But I've done a speech about Martin Luther King and the march, right? Because the march, when he did his famous speech, he was not the only one speaking that day. There was plenty of people speaking, and he was just one of other people speaking. Of course, he was a keynote like several others, but he wasn't like the grand poobah of the day. It was just an entire march. And what I always found interesting about that march was the planning that went into it. And when he asked, and the organizer asked, not to have police inside of the area where they're all speaking and they're all standing, that they're going to take care of it themselves. Not one person was arrested. Also, the planning they did up until the march, everything from not having mayonnaise on your sandwich because you're going to be there all day and you'll get sick. It was just amazing, the planning and the code of conduct that they had to sign and abide by. And then they came and which simply, like, if you remember it, you don't remember that day, and I don't because I wasn't alive, but if you read about that day was like kind of like the day of, unfortunately, January 6th, where everybody was pent up, but everybody was given a rule of conduct. Everybody was set a standard of how to behave. And the reason that went off so well, and remember, the reason we remember those words is because everybody was listening and everybody was in solidarity for that cause. And, so I just found it fascinating. And like I said, I did a keynote speech about it. I'm writing about it in my book. The organization of things, whether it be a business, whether it be politics, matters because only then can you hear the words.
Right.
You have to be able to hear the words. So if you believe in something, the words got drowned out by the violence, whether it be
That's right.
On either side of the party. Because one thing I love is when I say one thing and they say, well, how about these people? And how about those people? Regardless of what side you're on, it's when things are organized well and when people are talking and people are speaking, you can hear it when people aren't violent. So anyway, he's one of my heroes.
Right, absolutely, which is why I wanted to draw special attention to it today. Also, it's getting more and more difficult, Anthony, to not get involved in politics, no matter whether or not you want to get involved in politics right there. Everybody's getting drawn in. And I feel like we're at a point right now where in society, if you own and operate a business, you are going to be forced to pick sides no matter what you do. For example, Josh Hawley, the senator that's become under much question for not going along with the legitimate election results of our 2020 election here in the United States, he was supposed to do a fundraiser at a Lowe's hotel down in Orlando at the Universal Complex. They said, no, you cannot be there. They're taking sides. What do you think about the whole notion of now hotels having to get involved beyond just doing simple business, but having to make politics out of all
Well, it's like telling me someone is going to come into my building or come around my dinner table that threw a wagon through a Target to steal a pair of shoes. No, they're not allowed to come to my house. Same thing where he was part of an insurrection in the Capitol. He's treasonous. What was done is treasonous. So I completely agree with it because we're not talking about his stance. Whether I believe in the political agenda of a Republican Party, an Independent Party, or a Democratic Party has nothing to do with you went in and people were looking to hurt people in our capital, in the birthplace, in everything that everything that means something to us. So whether you're throwing something through a Target or whether you're going through a window at the Capitol, you have to be held accountable. And if you at this point are saying the election was stolen with no proof and that you're basically inciting people with no proof, I can't disagree with that. If you have proof, then of course, then like I'll march with you, but there is no proof.
Right. I actually had to delete some comments already from people that do not seem to be living in reality with what's going on, which is unfortunate. I highly encourage everybody to be engaged, but stay in the realm of reality.
Right. And if you truly think in your heart that the election was stolen with zero proof, you probably don't want to follow me or on anything I do, because it has nothing to do with the side of politics I'm on. There has not been proof in a court of law, Supreme Court, federal court. There hasn't been. So until there's proof, and I'll march with you, there is no proof. So if you want to make stupid comments, we'll just delete you, or maybe we'll keep them on there and make fun of you. I don't know.
I like that attitude, Anthony. You're rather plucky today.
Well, you started it. I didn't know we were talking about any of this stuff.
Listen, Anthony and I had a discussion before the new year that we want to just change things up a little bit. And I thought it'd be great to talk about all the issues that are going on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to continue, Anthony, to hit you up with things that you don't expect, because I love seeing how you react in real time.
Let's go to Hawaii. Let's get our friend on. Let's go to Hawaii.
Hold on one second. We will bring Mark Simon on because I do want to get back the Aloha spirit, but I do want to say that this week I'll be featured on the Crisis Averted podcast, talking about the challenges that I had over the last year, how I've been able to get past them, both financially and emotionally. And also be sure to check me out every Sunday night on BT Talks Baseball. That's at 365sportscast.com, 365sportscast.com. Last night, we talked about the great city of San Francisco, the places that I love to eat, and all of that kind of great stuff. All right.
That's fantastic. I should listen. Are you going to tell people how you got through it, that you would come over, of course, with your mask on, and you would put your head in my lap, and I would pet you and go, it's going to be okay, Glenn? Did you tell everybody about that?
Anthony, I thought that was between us.
All right, let's bring in the man.
All right, let's jump on a plane and go out to one of my favorite places in the world, a place that I said, no, I will never go on my honeymoon because it's way too cliche, and wound up there anyway, the incredible state of Hawaii. Welcome, Mr. Mark Simon, at the 5-star luxury beach property, the Four Seasons Maui at Wailea. Thank you so much for being here, Mark.
Aloha, everyone.
Hey, I like this. I was afraid to do it earlier because I didn't want to have a weird QAnon symbol or something like that going on. But Mark, It is so great to see you. I miss Hawaii so much. Look at me. I'm sitting here clutching my pineapple soap, hoping that one day I could get back to Hawaii. What's going on right now? If you could just give us a big picture understanding before we drill down to your property.
First of all, shout out to that rocking shirt that you're wearing there. That's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm talking to Anthony, actually.
Oh, wait. I think I got. Nope. I have a sound effect in here somewhere that I've never used of a drum roll. But what are you going to do?
No, things are great out here in Hawaii. It's the demand is down, of course, primarily due to the fact that California is under its lockdown. But the weather is gorgeous. The people that are coming are having a wonderful time. It's a little, you have to go through some testing procedures to get here, but it's not a big deal. People are finding that it's all runs pretty smooth, actually. So we are very hopeful. Things are looking up for us. We're trying to position the resort as the safest place on Maui itself. So we're very strict with the protocols, but the guests are so appreciative of it, and they can finally relax and let go and just, connect back to their lives again. So it's really rewarding.
Yeah, and as I understand it, you have a doctor and nurse 24 hours on property?
That's correct. Yeah, we do. We have a Safe on Maui program, we call it. And one of the things that we did was hire a doctor and nurse to stay in the resort 24/7 in the short term, and then be available to our guests on a priority basis going forward.
That's amazing. And anyone's ever watched 5-Star Secrets? We did the Maui Four Seasons. So go to Discovery Plus. If you're not a member, go to Discovery Plus. It's $4.99 a month, and you'll see all my shows. And Extreme Hotels is on there, and 5-Star Secrets is on there, and Hotel Impossible is on there. And one of my favorite, I didn't want to go to Hawaii either. I wasn't a Hawaii guy, and I went to Hawaii and I fell in love. And I don't know if it was the first time. I think I had been there before, but I couldn't believe we were able to stay at the Four Seasons Maui. And you put us up in the presidential suite, and it was one of the greatest vacations. Or even though I wasn't on vacation, it was just one of the greatest moments. And I was in the military, so if I was stationed in Hawaii, I think Hickam Air Force Base, if I would have been stationed there, I would have never left Hawaii. Never. And people are like, oh yeah. But I said, no, I literally wouldn't have left, because in Hawaii, I would have probably gotten a job right there out of the military, because of the hospitality. There's so much hospitality, and so I would have probably stayed in Maui or in Hawaii 100%. Yeah,
key moment in time. Maybe you could be me, and I could be you. That would be
great.
Yeah.
I'll go Hawaii. But so you guys were so accommodating and so gracious to us, and you were so kind enough to give us a beautiful gift certificate for me and my family that 5 years later or 6 years later we still haven't used. So I'm gonna get my wife on that plane one day and take advantage of it. So what is the whole feeling of the island, of not only Maui but all of it? Is everybody feeling comfortable with tourists coming, or there's still because listen, I've never been to a place that were more careful about their environment and their traditions than Hawaii. Hawaiians are great people, and Hawaii is a great place, but it's sacred ground. So how did they feel, the locals?
We had several. We closed down in March. Tourism closed down at the very end of March, and there were several start dates that were ultimately pushed back 3 or 4 times, and that was because of care for the kapuna, as they're known, the elders, because we knew that the elders were obviously more exposed with the virus. So that was the reason why Hawaii remained closed as long as it did. Finally, when we figured out the proper protocols, and they're strict, it was with the kapuna in mind and taking care of them. But now that tourism is back, it is obviously the lifeblood of Hawaii, and people are very happy to be coming back to work. And it's a feeling of relief that we're inching back towards what was our normal life, so to speak.
How's the vaccines doing in Hawaii? How are you guys doing with the vaccines?
We're doing really well. We have a small population. We've remained very strict right from the start. So the numbers are pretty low. And the numbers that are there, a very small percentage are attributed to tourism.
Right.
Most of the numbers are attributed to 3 different hotspots. So, yeah, the tourism.
How are you guys getting vaccinated? Is my question.
Yes. We're getting vaccinated this week. As a matter of fact, they're rolling it out for hotel workers.
Wow! Congratulations.
Oh, so the older population's gotten vaccinated already?
In the process of at the moment, yeah.
And then the next phase, wow, hotel workers are going to get back. That's great.
Yeah,
Really good. What are the requirements for coming in? I know that there's some sort of testing requirement. Is that 48 hours, 72 hours? What if I have a vaccine? How does that work as of today?
Yeah, so 72 hours before you get on your flight to come to Hawaii, you have to be able to produce negative results. And you upload your results via a barcode to a website. And when you deplane here in Hawaii, you show them the barcode and you're free to go.
Excellent.
And has anyone tried to come in and they found that they were positive and they tried to skirt the quarantine?
Well, there's always a handful that will do that and try to ruin it for others. But they're put into a quarantine hotel for 14 days and they can't leave their room. Not just they can't wander around the resort. They can't leave the room. So they'll pay the price, obviously.
And people have definitely paid the price for not respecting that particular rule. It's interesting. You could actually set the doors and give them a one-time entry key, right? So if they leave the room, or if it's open at times when nobody's coming in to give them food, then they're going to be caught as well.
That's exactly right. Yes.
And now I know you get a big, you get a lot of people from Japan. How's that been? Has Japan been traveling to Hawaii?
Well, we don't get it here on Maui. There are no direct flights to Maui from Japan, but the short answer is not yet. Japan is very careful, obviously, and Hawaii, I don't think, is open to the Japanese traveler yet. But they mostly go to Oahu.
Right. The last time we had spoken, you said, interestingly enough, the Japanese, they fly over here. They have a shorter period of time that they stay, so they usually don't do island hopping. They usually just stick to one hotel, correct?
That's right. Yes, they usually get 3 days to travel.
Fascinating.
So I was at your property. And I was at your property when there was a snowstorm in New York City, and my wife was shoveling out snow while I was getting spritzed with Evian water. And you have a beautiful infinity pool. So talk about your property. You brought me on a beautiful helicopter, all the way to Kauai so I can have some coffee. You have a golf course. Like, talk about, this is a good, again, this is not advertising. You guys aren't paying for this, but I just love Hawaii. I just love Four Seasons. So be proud of it and talk about it. And bring pictures up there, David, if we have them.
Yeah, I was going to do it after he did this.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, we specialize in, it's a luxury resort, obviously. We have over 1,000 employees when we're running at our peak.
Wow.
For 380 rooms. We have these incredible ocean views and oceanfront views. And you, Anthony, we had a personal assistant assigned to any guest who purchases a suite on the oceanfront.
Wow.
And we call them a personal assistant because they do more than take orders. They create experiences. And Maui is located in the very center of the Hawaiian island chain. And so and the Hawaiian island chain is very compressed. So you can do day trips to other islands that would take you maybe 20 minutes to get to another island. So we just started this campaign. It's called Base Camp Maui. And it was kind of predicated on the visit that you had, Anthony, to the coffee farm. We flew you over in a helicopter, and that sort of got the wheels turning in my head that, hey, maybe we should make this a regular part of the programming. So it turned out really well, and we're excited. But the resort sits on in Wailea, which is on the sunny side of the island. It hardly ever rains. I was mentioning earlier that it rained last night, as a matter of fact, and my dog freaked out because it rained so seldom. That is.
But base camp Maui, if we can talk about that for a second. What I love about that is it allows you to go to other islands within the day without having to unpack, without having to go to an airport, without having to get on an airplane. It's like you just get on a helicopter, you fly over there, you do your day, you get back on. It's kind of like being in Manhattan and then taking a ferry out to Rockaway, to surf, and then you take the ferry back. It's, you don't have to change hotel rooms.
Yeah, and it only took me 16 years to figure it out, but.
Well, Mark, when I first met you, if you remember, I said you seem like they're a slow learner, but you. So people have taken advantage of it.
Yeah, they have. It's become very popular. It was immediately shut down by the virus, but we're rebooting it, and we're excited about the prospects. So
on a given day. Now at Four Seasons, I mean, is it? And I'm not talking about occupancies, but is it? Are there people there? Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, is it at least at some point where there's some life around the hotel?
Yeah, occupancy is down, needless to say, but we created a program that draws in visitors from other hotels nearby or condos nearby, because we wanted to have some life and some action to it. There's nothing like walking through a hotel that the restaurant is closed or the shop is closed or this corridor over here is completely dark. We wanted it to be lively. So all of our restaurants are open, all of our shops are open. We still have live entertainment, and we really thought hard about keeping things lively. And even though occupancy is down, when you come in the evening, you'll see 3 bustling restaurants, and you'll hear live music, and shops are open, and you can go into the salon or the spa. So that was important to us.
Yeah, because that's critical, because I don't want to fly all the way there and then be like, only see 2 people in the whole hotel, because it's going to remind me we're in a pandemic. The one thing I love about what you're doing is when you go there, just for a moment, you can just, like you said, be normal again.
Yeah, that's really important.
Michael Spellman went to Ferraro's on their honeymoon at the Four Seasons. One of the best meals ever. Now we're all jealous to wear my Hawaiian shirt to a good restaurant. All right.
What was the restaurant? I'm sorry, Glenn. What was the restaurant I went to? I actually stayed one extra day, and I went by myself, and it was out on it was a patio, and it was a name chef. Who was it? Was it not Wolfgang? Was it Wolfgang?
Spago.
Yeah.
It was Spago. Yeah, it was Spago. Yeah, you got the Spago still there?
Spago is still there. They just renovated, and they were open all of 6 weeks before closure, but put in a raw bar. Still has those magnificent views, of course. And
that was one of my favorite meals I've ever had.
Yeah. That was fun.
Deborah Herman asks, can we be normal again? Deborah, you've known me for decades. There's no chance that I will ever be normal again, but there's a chance that these guys will. All right. Thanks for your passion and contributions to the luxury butler service and creating those experiences. Helicopters ashore when visiting. Delicious seafood. Spas a must. Let's take a look at this incredible hotel, producer David, and really get us jealous that we're not there. This must be the spa. Is that correct, Mark?
That is one of the spa hales. Yeah, a little hut that looks out on the ocean. You can have a massage and feel the gentle breezes blowing and smell the plumeria flowers. It's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm offended. I don't remember seeing that. I'm offended.
Yeah, that's probably
I don't remember showcasing
in the suite, not in there.
That's one more reason to come back, Anthony.
All right, I will. I absolutely will. Yeah, that's my favorite pool. It's funny. I go into to get my eyeglasses, and every once in a while I have to go in for something, get my eyes checked or whatever. And there's a picture of, I guess, Maui sunglasses or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of your pool with somebody wearing glasses. And I told the lady, I said, you know where that is? She goes, Hawaii. I go, you know where? She goes, no idea. I go, that's the Four Seasons pool. You can literally, I know exactly that picture.
Yeah, that's our signature pool, the Serenity Pool. It's elevated above the Pacific and very quiet, very hip. Lots of chaise lounges, and it's just turned out to be a great place to meet other people, and it's fun, a lot of fun.
You know, what I like about your whole setup is there's sections. Like if you want to meet people, you can meet people. If you want to be isolated, like I do, I can be isolated, and I like that about the pool.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is talk to people when I'm on vacation.
Speaking about isolation, I think some people have been joining us late. No, you do not need quarantine. You do not have to quarantine. You will if you don't have a test, but if you have a test that shows negative within 72 hours of arrival, you can go and enjoy all of the resort's amenities without being locked in your room. Anthony, what is this that we're looking at? Jesus.
I think I was in that suite, wasn't I?
This the presidential suite?
This is your suite, Anthony. This is the Wailea presidential suite. And it's on the penthouse floor and then overlooks the Pacific, obviously. Right now it's whale watching season. So I was up there the other day and standing out on the balcony, and you could see whales jumping all over. We call it whale soup. There's so many.
Wow. I tell you, as beautiful as it is, I spent like maybe 4 nights or whatever, 5 nights in that suite or however long. You know, after the first night, you kind of get used to it and you kind of get bored of the views.
I'm sure.
It's such a lie.
I know. I'll tell you, one of the frustrating things that I found when I travel to all of these great places is, Anthony, we're very fortunate. People give us amazing rooms from time to time, but we're not in them that much to be able to enjoy them. It sounds like you actually had time to enjoy your room when you were there.
Yourself. I actually use my rooms. You go to these stupid cocktail parties. I actually stay in the room.
Oh my God! What are we looking at?
You go and do some kind of connecting, and you do the things you're supposed to do when you're going to conventions. I sit in my room and enjoy the view.
well, who's the smart one? Anthony is.
But yeah, and I also remember there's one thing that stands out. There's a couple of hotel experiences I've had that I still remember, and your hotel. There every night, I can't remember what it was. I completely forget, but it was some kind of amenity that I really liked. It was either a chocolate or a jelly or something that every night you would put in the room. And I think if you put 2, I ate 2, and then I always look for more. So I saw this gentleman walking down, and he was, obviously going to the rooms and putting these in. And I asked him, I said, "May I have one more?" And he said, "Well, how many do you really want?" I go, "I want enough that I don't have to ever ask for any more." And he basically filled up my room like it was a supermarket. What was that? What am I thinking about, Mark? Do you remember?
We were talking about that the other day, and I can't remember it this morning. It's a little early.
But it was this thing that was the greatest thing, and I can't remember what it was. But it was some kind of jelly chocolate or something. I'm a jelly chocolate guy, and but I loved what he said was. I was like, "Can I have one more, please?" And he's like, "Well, how many do you really want?" And that was such a great question. And then because it allowed me to say, "I want as many as you possibly can give me." And he filled me up, man. And I remember that as long as I live, because hospitality comes down to the question. So the expectation is, I don't want to bother this guy, and I don't want to look like a gavone, especially since you guys are hooking me up. So I'm already humbled and really nervous, saying, "May I have one more?" And he's like, "Well, how many do you think about that question? If I'm really teaching hospitality, if you and I are going to teach a hospitality class about service, think about that question. What does that question do? Well, how many do you really want?" That's what you guys do.
Yeah, you know what? It starts in the hiring process, actually. We feel like we could train people up for almost any job in the hotel, but the interview process is very detailed, and what we're looking for is what's in their heart. What do they have service in their heart? And I know that sounds a little bit corny, but there are certain ways that you can draw things out, whether or not they're people persons, and whether or not they have that spirit of hospitality. And once you get a collection of those people, they're a majority of the employees. They take it upon themselves to train others, and now you have a culture built. Right. It took many years for us to build that culture, but I'm very proud of the answer that person gave.
Yeah, you know what? In all the years I've been in this business, and I'll be honest with you, there's never been a request or something I've done for a guest that bothered me or annoyed me, ever. like I've dealt with really bad guests and all that stuff, but I'm talking like if somebody asked me for something or somebody asked me to do something, or I had to work an extra day or 12 hours or 2 hours to provide a service that they really were wanting, I never ever in 33 years remember being annoyed. So again, I'm not the biggest people person, but I just love the spirit of taking care of people. And I've never felt more taken care of in my life. And like, even when you come in, you give the drink, which a lot of hotels do. But the way you do it, it's the way you talk to people. And you have real people there. You don't have snobby 5-star employees that think they're more important than the guest. You have real spirit of hospitality.
Yeah, that's what we strive for, is how can we surprise and delight the guest? And it's as simple as that, really. And it might be the little chocolate jelly that you want, or you see a guest in the lobby on a conference call or something on their phone, giving them a bottle of water or a cold towel, just little touches along the way. It doesn't take much, and it's just being thoughtful. And
I also find when I'm in a hotel like yours, I'm an easy guest until I'm not. I'm a more difficult guest in your hotel than I am in a regular hotel, because like if I even sense, which of course never at your hotel, but if I even sense that somebody doesn't have that spirit, I'm actually going to protect your entire brand and your entire spirit by holding that person accountable and probably complaining about that person, because I don't care that they were rude to me, but now I'm pissed off because I can't send my friends here anymore because there's one person, one bad apple that is going to infect it. And again, in your hotel, it never happened, but I've been in 5-star hotels where I've actually been a complainer. I've actually held that person accountable. Not for me. I can care less, but you can't be here. Like, you're not allowed here. Like everybody else is working so hard. They're putting so much money. There's so much energy, and you're not allowed to work here because you just don't get it. And I love the fact that when you, like you just said, when you have that spirit of aloha, you have that spirit, other employees take care of it. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's true. It's like a self-governing hotel. If someone is new and we're behind the scenes and that person doesn't smile back or say aloha to each other, they'll be called out by some of the other employees, myself included, because that's where it starts, is just the way we treat each other. The golden rule comes in, and it spreads out to guests, of course, and that's really what it's all about, is just do what is right. We call it the golden rule, but in the Hawaiian culture, it's called pono, do what is right.
Right. All right. So you know what? We got more pictures, and I really want to see it. But more than just seeing the pictures for all of us here, I really want to do it to make the folks that are listening to our audio-only version watch the video version. If you guys are watching the video version, well, be sure to check out the audio version of our podcast when you're outside walking the dog, doing your commute, all of those great things we can't be watching here every day. Check that out at Checking In with Anthony and Glenn on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your shows, and the No Vacancy live feed. Let's see those pictures, producer Dave. Boom. All right. Let's see some new ones. This is a beautiful suite, by the way.
That's one of our standard rooms with two queen beds. Yeah, we have really big rooms. They all have large balconies, and they're all private balconies too, so that you don't go out there and see your neighbor next door, right?
That's beautiful. I love that attitude. I got a question for you, Mark, about the design. When I'm looking at this room, it doesn't look like Hawaii. I mean, they don't bang your head over that. They don't bang you over the head with it. I like that. Because where did this design aesthetic come from, and how did you find the right balance between having it evoke the sense of the aloha spirit without being way too over the top with that?
Yeah, we worked with a Hawaiian interior designer, and they felt like the room should match what the hotel is all about, which is contemporary Hawaii. Mm-hmm. So Hawaii comes through in the art that's in the rooms. And all of the art that are in the guest rooms and in the guest room corridors and public spaces, they're all done by people who are Hawaiian artists or have been influenced greatly by Hawaii. And I think that was really important because we're big believers in art. So we like to say we have a 24/7 art museum because our owners really love to invest in art, and we have an incredible collection throughout the resort.
Yeah, in my suite, there was a beautiful piece of art that was worth a tremendous amount of money, and I tried to put it in my suitcase and it didn't fit. But one of the things I will tell you about the design, it would almost be like if somebody's wearing an orange tie, you don't want to wear an orange shirt and orange pants and an orange suit. When you're in Hawaii and you open up your eyes, you see Hawaii. You have views everywhere. Why would you want to see Hawaii in your room and outside your room? You want it to feel, like you said, contemporary and first class and 5-star, and really the Four Seasons elevated to that. But when you open your eyes, you're surrounded by Hawaii. So I personally think it would kill the view. It would kill everything. It would kill the spirit of what you're trying to provide, because the real secret of Hawaii and the real secret of Four Seasons is nuance and subtlety.
Right.
And if you put things in people's faces like that, it just, to me, would have ruined everything.
Yeah, it's a very tactile thing. You want to feel the fabric and understand that it's high quality, and you want the room to feel luxurious and make you feel get a sense of place through the art. So yeah, it's very important.
Right. And simple and clean. I love it. Like, look at that. It's simple. Yeah. It's clean. It's high end. And again, people that go to hotels like yours want to travel the way they live. They don't want to, like, their bed is probably as nice as your bed. Their furniture is probably as nice as your furniture. And so what you can give them is that.
Yeah. This is a great oceanfront balcony, a lanai, we call it. And just that's an untouched photo. That is the sunset. And I remember when the hotel was closed, going up to that suite or one like it, and just looking out and thinking, God, I just can't wait until the customers come back so we can do what we do best, which is serve. And
Mark, do you happen to remember the name of the design firm that did it? We've got a couple of designers on here and folks that work with designers. Asking that.
It's WATG. That's called.
Of course. So, we all know Wimberley, Allison Tong, and Goo.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, Wimberley, Allison Tong, and Goo, they were the original designers, architects of the hotel.
Oh, that's it.
Then 25 years later, they came back and redesigned the hotel from the interior point of view. So it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kay is a terrific designer. Go check out her JW Marriott Anaheim, a recent project that she launched. Absolutely gorgeous. Anthony, take it.
I remember being there, and I was getting a history lesson about the way you guys set up the whole area. And how you used, where you placed the buildings, why you placed the buildings there. I mean, there's a lot that goes into building one of these resorts.
Yeah, Mr. Sharp, the founder of Four Seasons, he put a lot into the design personally. He's a trained architect as well. And when he went up and down the block, and Wailea was just being developed at that point, and every hotel had sort of put the lobby at the very front of the driveway when you come in, and Mr. Sharp thought, no, we want to push the registration desk and all the public space as close to the ocean as they'll let us. And so now when you arrive at the hotel, there's a real arrival experience. You come downhill a long driveway, and you see this beautiful palm tree lined frame of the ocean and the islands beyond. And then when you get into the hotel, you enter the hotel and register. There's an open air feel to it. There's no walls or windows, so you can feel the breeze come in, and it's spectacular. And
Mark, you've been there for how many years?
I've been there for 25 years. Okay,
at that hotel?
Yes.
Okay, so that is, I'm not even going to say, oh my God, I'm just going to say that is
weird,
abnormal, and strange. Why have you been there for 25 years? Are you arrested? Are you under arrest at Four Seasons?
He's an indentured servant.
You have to be 25 to 30 at the Four Seasons. 25 years that's my career. I mean, I've been in business 33 years. That's my career. How have you been at one place for 25 years, and why?
And how succeeded for so long?
I started with Four Seasons in Asia, actually, in first Australia, and then they moved me to Hong Kong, and then ultimately Japan. And along the way, I had fallen in love with Maui long before my Asia days. But along the way, at my annual review every year, I'd say, I am happy to go wherever you want me to go, but if Maui ever becomes available, that's where I want to go. And I just knew it. There was something inside me that resonated with Maui. And when I got here, it was my dream job. So I settled in, raised my daughters here. And it's just, to this day, it's still very challenging and rewarding. The owners of the hotel are fantastic. They put money into the hotel to make sure that we have the best product at all times, and they listen to us and they work with us as partners. So it's a really good gig. And more than anything, that ownership is a kind of a make or break thing, right? You need to have good relationships with them, and that's where it starts.
I talk about it all the time. That if you don't have good owners, you don't have a good hotel. Look at that.
And of course, Four Seasons it's the dream company too. The way we treat our employees and the golden rule.
I remember someone once said to me, I have a job offer from this hotel, I won't tell you the brand, and Four Seasons, but I'll make more money at the other hotel, and it's a little bit more of it's a bigger job. I was like, Four Seasons. They're like, why? I was like, Four Seasons. And they're like, why? I said, Four Seasons. And they're like, why? I said, Four Seasons. That's all I said until they stopped talking. And I was like, and they went to Four Seasons. I was like, that's it, done. It's like when I worked at the Plaza Hotel in 1990, I've done a lot in my career. But when I say I work at the Plaza Hotel, to this day, people go, wow.
Yeah. No, Four Seasons is a great company. And like I say, we live and die by the golden rule. And that's real. That's not like a slogan by the PR department or anything like that. It's the way we treat each other, and it's a family. Even though we're a big company now, we have over 100 hotels. But
are you 100 hotels? Just when I was just like yesterday, you were like 47. How'd you get to 100?
Yeah, I think we've rapid growth over the last 10 years, I would say, and we're in many countries now. So it's So
Mark,
still have that small company feel.
We've got a great question from Chad Anderson. And Chad is based overseas right now, helping save American lives. As a senior director of marketing, was a huge challenge for Four Seasons, with being such a beautiful resort, to try to bring more business in during this COVID period and now. What is your process like to try to get people to choose your property over all of the others that are in the area?
It's a great question. We created an anchor campaign called Safe on Maui. And it had numerous elements to it that were all about safety. Anthony mentioned one of them, bringing the doctor in.
That's the first thing on your list of things right there.
Yeah. And so all of our campaigns are now anchored by Safe on Maui, because I think people are willing to pay a little bit more for safety for themselves and their family, and coming to a hotel that respects that and has the protocols in place. It's might be inconvenient to wear a mask, around, but I think in the end, everyone loves it, and they responded really well to it. And we're really doing well comparatively to other hotels too.
And at this point, very few people I know wouldn't want to wear a mask because that's the right thing to do. But when you're in a restaurant and you're overlooking this beautiful view, you're not wearing a mask. You're hanging out with your family. When you're in the pool, you're not wearing a mask. 90% of the time of you enjoying your life, you're not wearing a mask. So when you're going from your room to the dining room and you have to wear a mask, get over it. I mean, so you do a great job of really, because I take my mask off. I talked about this before. I take my mask off all the time and I put it away. I don't want to see it. If I'm speaking to someone and like if we're having a drink outside, I want their mask to be off the table. Like, and I asked them, I said, would you mind putting that away? I don't want to know that I am in a pandemic until I have to keep myself safe and keep everybody else safe. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a really good point. There's always going to be those outliers of people that
of course,
have their own set of standards and so on. But we have a gentle but persistent way of convincing them to wear their masks.
Yeah, apparently, they all shop at Walmart, so I think you're okay.
Right. I want to thank Walmart for being our newest sponsor. couple of other cool things that they
I love
have.
Walmart, by the way.
Yeah, they're a terrific company. Sure, Mark. A couple of things that you have here that you didn't mention in terms of your Safe on Maui program that you have in place. They have virtual classrooms, so if your children are doing virtual school, they could go ahead and participate that way. But this is the coolest thing, Anthony. The Four Seasons Maui, along with other Four Seasons resorts in the Hawaii collection, they've collaborated with the company PS for a private airport experience for commercial flights at LAX. So it's a private terminal with separate airport access. That is a pretty cool thing that you could go right through dedicated TSA and customs clearance, luxury car service directly to your gate, and backdoor direct access to the aircraft, avoiding the public LAX terminal entirely, according to your website. Wow, that's pretty cool.
That has Anthony written all over it. It is spectacular, and you literally drive by the LAX exit, and you come into another exit, and you're in this private building in your private suite. And when it's time to connect you to get on your flight, you get in a BMW 7 Series. They drive across the tarmac of LAX and pull right up to your gate, and you take an elevator up to your gate, and you can board first or last, whatever you like. But it's a true luxury experience, and we were very fortunate to reach out to these to Private Suites as a luxury partner to help us get through this COVID era. And it's
Mark, I think we're getting close to doing some sales for you. Can Deborah wants to know, can she bring her dog? Pets?
Dogs are welcome at all Four Seasons. There are some restrictions that come to Hawaii, though.
Okay, so check to see what those restrictions are before you bring your animals, which makes sense because, as we said at the top of this conversation, Hawaii's ecosystem is so delicate. They want to make sure that it stays absolutely protected, right?
Are you allowed to bring Italians from Brooklyn? Is it that delicate? But Mark, you said something. You said like this is right up Anthony's alley. You kind of really know my taste, don't you?
Yeah, kind of.
Is that the same terminal that's dedicated for the celebrities, so they don't have to go and get pictures of them taken everywhere they go in the airport?
A lot of celebrities do use private suites. It's a great facility. I tried it once. It was wonderful, and that's all I needed. Just try it once, and I knew that it needed to be part of our future.
That's how I felt about pre-check.
And Glenn, I will tell you this: you're going to be shocked, but when you go to the Four Seasons Maui, you will never see a celebrity. They will never, ever, ever see a celebrity. Just so you know. That's good
to know. So I won't ever see you there. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about real celebrities.
No, they're there. They're just not.
Right. We don't. We don't. If you're in Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club, right?
Right.
If I twisted Mark's arm to tell me what celebrities go there, he wouldn't tell me, or who's there now. Like I'm sure there's a celebrity there now. He wouldn't tell me. Come on, Mark, tell me.
This is true. I can't.
Watching.
I will tell you, when I was in Cabo at the one and only Cabo, and it's out for public consumption, so I can say it. But Jennifer Aniston was there, I think, 2 days before we got there in the same suite we stayed in. She celebrated her 40th birthday. Could that be right? So that was like 7 years ago or something, or however long ago that was.
And I mean, that show was on in the early 90s.
Yeah, but she celebrated her 40th birthday. And when you see the suite at that hotel, it's the same thing. Like that's where, like Four Seasons of the Cabo, that's where people that have seen everything, bought everything, invented everything want to go because it's special. And it's not the things, because they're surrounded by those things all the time. It's the feeling.
Yeah, that's a great.
The last thing Jennifer Aniston wants anybody to do at a hotel is make a big deal about Jennifer Aniston. She just wants to feel at home.
That's the key. Yeah, that's the key. That's why so many celebrities visit our hotel. Is
right.
We have a way of taking care of them so that they can just act normal and be normal, and that's so important and so rare these days. They're bothered everywhere they go. I guess bothered.
I'm not even on the radar of her celebrity, but I will tell you, my thing that I love my fans and I love seeing everyone in the airport and everything. But when I'm in the hotel and people are kind of making a big deal about me, and Glenn has seen it firsthand, I respect it and I appreciate it. But everybody there is a guest. Like, I'm no more important than them. So take care of me to standards that you should take care of me. But that's it. You know, we want to be treated like you want to be treated, you know, nice, but you feel uncomfortable because then you have to be on and you have to make the other person feel comfortable because they're talking to you and you're feeling excited, and that's great. But you just want to chill.
Yeah, we have a secret recipe for trying to get celebrities to relax and settle in and just be themselves. And I'm joking a little bit, but we work very hard at it.
Get it? You're just slipping them a Mickey inside their drinks. I get it. We know how it works. Just kidding, of course. Deborah says she was in Cabo with Pamela Anderson. Sure, you may have been in Cabo with Pamela Anderson, but one time I went to an opening of a deli with Tiny Tim, the famous singer from the 60s and 70s. Can't beat that one. Sorry, everybody. All right. So, Mark, any final thoughts and stuff like that before we wrap up with you, sir?
We can't wait to get you guys out here to do a podcast. We talked about it. We're going to make it happen this year for sure.
Yep. All right. How do we find you? How do we find the hotel? How do we book reservations? Because I got to tell you, the second I get out of this place, I'm going right to your place.
Yeah, the best way, fourseasons.com/Maui. And we have a great website. We're looking forward to welcoming all of your listeners and viewers, and taking extra special care. Anthony is a local legend in our hotel, and he made a lot of friends. So just mention the show, and we'll do something special for you.
I've always wanted to say this. Tell him Anthony sent you. But but I'll tell you, we talked about this when we were trying to put this trip together to go out to Hawaii. We talked about, when I was there, we talked about the bread. Oh my God, the menus and the food in your place are great. And I've been to, when I was doing 5-Star Secrets, I will just say I was at really nice 5-star hotels, but your restaurants were the real deal. Like, your food was the real deal. Like, I had a sandwich, at lunch, and it was amazing. Anytime I had a meal, the other hotels I went to, a lot of them were nice and a lot of them had good food, but there were a couple, it was like their food didn't back up everything else.
Yeah, we use the word craveable when we talk with the chefs about creating a new dish or whatever.
Are the White Castle people okay with you using their word? You don't know White Castle. You're from Hawaii. What do you know? Sorry. Go on.
I know White Castle, but yes, for a dish to be craveable is something that you're dreaming about. You can't wait to sample it again, and that's what we always
we talk about that bread all the time. Matter of fact, John Kelleran, I haven't had many guests in my house, but yesterday John Kelleran, who's my DP, he was with us, and I think he had that bread, and we were talking about it, and we're sitting in the garage with our masks on, 20 feet away from each other, and we were talking about how incredible that hotel was.
Well, thank you. We work very hard at it, and we just can't wait to welcome you back soon.
Beautiful.
All right, friend.
Thank you so much.
For getting up early. Thanks for getting up early.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. Man, I miss going to Hawaii. It's been too long since I was last there. And, because we are featuring our friend Deborah on here for so often, you are very familiar with her products over at Fabric Innovations because, Anthony, you fly first class on Delta, and all the pillows and blankets and stuff, well, they're supplied by her company.
Well, who's this?
Our friend Deborah.
Oh, we should have Deborah back. We should have Deborah on and talk about what's going on in supply chain of like what's happening to her company during this time, because I'm sure they're not buying as many pillows and blankets. Matter of fact, during I flew a couple of times during COVID, and they didn't give me pillows and blankets.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. All right, Deborah, we'll reach out to you and talk to you. It's been too long since we caught up anyway. Anthony, any final thoughts before we start to head towards wrapping up this bad boy today? We are
the greatest country on earth. Let's keep it that way. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of injustices in this country. Martin Luther King Day is today. It's appropriate to really understand and try to do some healing and read some history. And also remember, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. We have to make this country better. And we're in bad shape. And the only way to keep going is that we have to mend fences. And so I don't care what side of the political agenda you sit on. Storming a Capitol is wrong. And anybody that can justify that and say, well, they were mad. Okay, I get that. I get that. If you were mad, that's fine. You can't storm the Capitol. So anybody that suggests or anybody that thinks that their election was stolen with zero evidence, I just don't understand. We can't heal if we go forward. To go forward, we can't heal if we're lying to each other.
Yep. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Truth matters, and if you guys want the real truth, Anthony and I are here every day at noon to make sure that you are here in hospitality.
Hey, can I say one other thing that was really trying to piss me off? Anytime I talk to somebody, and I don't really talk politics, but don't say, well, they stormed the Capitol. Well, somebody threw something through a window during the riots of Black Lives Matter. They're both bad. Both. Violence is bad. Okay. Let's stop that. Okay. Let's talk about, you feel that America is not listening to you. So you storm the Capitol. Okay. So let's make sure that your people get voted back in. Okay. On the other side, let's make sure your people stay voted in if that's what you believe. But storming the Capitol and throwing shit through windows, violence doesn't work. And because you don't listen. Martin Luther King, the reason his words have stayed with us, that we can quote his words, the reason small children, white or black, know his words is because there wasn't violence going on around him when he was speaking. And those words have now been cemented into the world's memory because he did it in a way that people understood.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. One other thing, when you have an argument with somebody, whataboutism simply does not work. Citing somebody else's bad behavior or illegal behavior does not make your argument valid. It just makes you look like you're trying to excuse bad behavior on all parts. So that's an important technique to not get involved in when trying to debate somebody on the issue.
And also those Capitol policemen that they were going against, a lot of those Capitol policemen, I guarantee you voted for Trump. A lot of those Capitol policemen may believe the election was stolen. A lot of those Capitol policemen may not have been happy with the agenda of the other side, but they still were doing their job. There were people, crapping in their helmet, in war zones, and they may have voted for Trump. They may have voted for an agenda that maybe another person doesn't believe in, but they're still fighting for you to give you that right. When you go and storm the Capitol and try to kill the vice president, that's a problem.
Right. Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Whew. All right. What a way to end the show today.
You started.
Yeah, I know. I started. I did not mean to incite you, but I'm sure we'll have plenty more these kind of conversations going forward. Thank you guys so much for participating. Remember, subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Text the word hotel to 66866. That's hotel to 66866. Follow us on YouTube. Please share our shows with our community out there. It's really important that we continue to get the word out because every day we're here to educate, empower, and hopefully entertain you guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, you got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to each other and yourself.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.